Welcome everyone to the Bosch ERM webinar on introducing connected solutions to operationalize sustainability. We'll begin our session. To begin with, let me introduce our speakers and panelists for today. We have Venu Gopal Ji, Head of Industry 4.0 from Bosch. Venu brings in 20 plus years of experience in digital, IoT, sustainability, and safety. We have Manish Godkinde, Senior Partner and Global Head of Digital Innovation and Analytics with ERM. Manish brings in 20 plus years of rich experience innovating digital solution for our clients. We also have Amar Desai, our subject matter expertise for the day. He brings in 15 years of experience in industrial analytics and engineering systems. And myself, Rati Bhattacharya, I work as a digital transformation lead for the APAC operations of ERM. And for today's session, I will be your moderator. Over the last 5 months, we have been experiencing an increase in the number of safety events that have been happening around the world. We have seen more than 16 safety events and process safety accidents that have happened. These accidents were varying in their severity, from the styrene gas leaks that happened in the LG plant in India, which killed about 17 people, to the recent explosion that happened at the Beirut city, which killed over 200 people. These events have led us rethink the safety preparedness of our industries and have also made us question and doubt the effectiveness of remote operations and our capabilities to operate with minimum manpower. Safe restart is hence possible only when it is supported by resilient infrastructure, agile processes, and operational discipline. Digital is critical to do this, and hence it is not a choice anymore. And with that, as a quick safety moment and a safety reflection, let me take you all to understanding why we are here today. The convergence of Industry 4.0 and sustainability are the two most prominent levers that are dominating the corporate landscape today. We are seeing major corporates from Google to Microsoft to Netflix all announcing their commitments around low carbon economy and who are also quickly transitioning to digital technologies. Digital is expected to become a backbone of this transition. ERM and Bosch have been working together right at the intersection of this Industry 4.0 and sustainability. And we have created specific offerings that can support our clients to meet the challenges for this convergence. Through this webinar today, we plan to share with you all how our partnership can help you achieve your safety and sustainability goals. Quickly taking you through our agenda for today. We'll start off with explaining you what our partnership brings. We will then go into the two focus themes for today: connected resource intensity, where we will share with you some of our experience of how we are managing resource intensities like energy, like water. And then we will take you through connected safety and give you some real life examples of how we are bringing Industry 4.0 principles to solving our client solutions. We summarize with a few key takeaways and open up the floor for question and answers. And with that, I would like to invite Venu to please take us through and kick off the session with the Bosch and ERM partnership. Venu, over to you.
Thank you, Rati, and good morning, good participants and our guests. I'm very happy to be here addressing all of you. As Rati mentioned, let me talk about Bosch ERM partnership, what each of us stands for, and what's our joint value proposition to the market. As most of you are aware, Bosch is an IoT leader. We consider IoT, digital, and Industry 4.0 as the core of our business today, of our evolving business too. Let me talk about a couple of points that would drive this point better. We are one of the companies that has declared that all our products are going to be connected and intelligent in near future. Almost 270 plus global plants today have embarked on a transformational journey leveraging Industry 4.0. So, in a nutshell, to us, we stand for technology leadership, namely IoT and Industry 4.0. Let me also deviate a little. When we talk about Industry 4.0, how it is normally and classically defined or interpreted as a giant leap in terms of performance in efficiency, flexibility, customer orientation, quality, etc. Industry 4.0, in our perspective, also includes an ambition to provide its customers or employees the safest working environment. That's the meaning of Industry 4.0 to us. This interpretation of Industry 4.0 is well narrated and evidence in the concurrent narratives as well, including in global forums, including that of Global Economic Forum. Let me now shift to the partner player here, ERM, with about 50 plus years of is a pure play consulting leader in areas such as sustainability, health, safety, and environment. With its deep client relationships across the globe, to us, ERM stands for domain and market leadership in these areas, namely sustainability and related areas. So, as I mentioned earlier, we stand for technology leadership and Industry 4.0. ERM stands for domain expertise and leadership in sustainability, safety, and related topics. That is where we figured out the complementarity of our skill sets and what we bring to the table, and we decide to join hands. So, we are hence strategic partners. These two competencies together are blended to be of value to each of you in the market. So that is what we stand for. And then value proposition to the market is to unlock the value at the intersection of Industry 4.0 and sustainability. Moving forward, the topic of today's discussion is about, as you can see the title, connected solutions to operationalize sustainability. What you see on the screen are about 4 or 5 prominent queries or questions or points that we normally come across in the market. You could you could read through them. I'll just pick up a couple of them. The first point, Industry 4.0 and its synergy with sustainability. Matter of fact, Bosch is one of the rare manufacturing companies in the world who have declared carbon neutrality this year, 2020. I mentioned already that in our definition and interpretation of Industry 4.0, sustainability is part of it. And we strongly believe these two initiatives, converge fairly early in the maturity phase. We will showcase this in a few case studies that we have in scope for today's deliberation. Let me move on to safety. Safety is no more confined to a safety officer or an HSC or EHS office at the corner of a corporate office. Safety is suddenly attained uh, leadership attention, both for its economic value, which often is hidden, and also for an organization's commitment to the society, for its social obligations to provide a safe environment for the employees. For example, if you want to attract tomorrow's workforce to your organization, you have to provide a level of assurance with regard to safety. So we will debate about how technology, especially IoT digital, and the larger scope of Industry 4.0 would drive better, safe environment. Let me call upon my colleague Manish. Manish, why don't you share your perspectives on safety and sustainability?
Thank you, Venu. I completely agree. I think Industry 4.0 inherently has sustainability and safety in its offering. It's not necessarily been exploited well enough. And we are here to try and bring that out to the marketplace through this partnership. ERM has been a player in the mainstream sustainability space for, as Venu mentioned, 50 plus years. We're one of the founding members of organizations such as WBCSD, and we do extensive work in this space across the globe. In the year 2020, we are witnessing a big shift in the world on the back of this pandemic. The emphasis on climate change, the emphasis on low carbon economy transition, the emphasis on business resilience, ability to withstand new shocks that all organizations are beginning to see, and the ability to look at environment, social governance, and finance in this context are key drivers for us as ERM. And we see Industry 4.0, IoT, which means Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence, and advanced analytics, and digital twins, and the likes, very, very important to make this happen. From a safety perspective, connected worker as a concept in mainstream Industry 4.0 has been there for some time. And we'll today take this opportunity to demonstrate how connected worker has been repurposed to connected safety, and similarly how mainstream Industry 4.0 is being repurposed through energy efficiency and resource intensity. And in future, this partnership is going to focus on additional areas like supply chain resilience and other important circular economy dimensions of sustainability. I'd now like to take you through a brief framework of how this partnership is going to work and how we as a partnership are trying to make a difference in the marketplace. The simple framework to be able to help our clients discover challenges using a digital lens, keeping the end user in the center, keeping the business outcome in the center, keeping the technology and the digital as coming after that. So you discover your future vision, understand your current state, and then you design the solution. In partnership with Bosch, we now have the ability to reimagine for you as a client what can be the new processes with all kinds of Industry 4.0 devices and technologies, but at the same time keeping the end user in the mind and the business outcome in the mind. We'll have a quick discussion to understand where are you on your existing journey before we decide how to start working with you, um, and then move it from discover to design, and then finally to deliver. I think the key value that this partnership is going to bring to this marketplace, to you all prospects, is to be able to operationalize Industry 4.0 solutions, AI solutions in the sustainability context, which requires deep understanding of engineering, IoT, and digital, which comes from Bosch, and a deep understanding of the domain and subject matter expertise, and a human centered approach, which comes from ERM. And we've married these two to bring to all of you two solutions: connected resource intensity and connected safety. Let's now take a quick look at these two solutions. So, connected resource intensity is really about leveraging sensors and enabled resources to drive a reduction in resource consumption while increasing productivity. Connected safety is really about leveraging digital technologies to drive processes and operations and policies aligned to the end user. How can we make it easy for him to dramatically improve safety and operational excellence performance? Venu, would you like to add something to this?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Manish. As Manish mentioned, two of the key offerings that we are going to talk about today, connected resource intensity that you can see on the left part of the screen. As Manish mentioned, resource intensity refers to how much less or how much optimized resource that I can consume to produce an output. It could be energy, could be utilities such as water, gas, and so on. As a matter of fact, as we speak, about 1,000 plus energy programs worldwide are happening in Bosch. Coming back to this offering, what we are offering is a platform with the complete connect to analytics layer capabilities with built-in asset templates so that it can quickly get deployed in a client environment with a set of algorithmic capabilities to provide insight. So obviously, it would help a user, an organization to reduce energy consumption by leveraging specific insights that it can contribute to. Moreover, as Manish mentioned, sustainability programs do not end with optimizing energy consumption alone. The ramification of this program would lead you to look at the broader gamut of Industry 4.0, namely condition monitoring of an asset, namely asset performance management, and so on. This point, we will try to showcase and elaborate a little more using a case study as we go through this presentation. Let me switch the gear to the second offering, that is connected safety. In connected safety, we are leveraging digital IoT accelerators and a few specific solutions. Just to give you some sample, sensor or sensor kits, a group of sensors focusing on specific use cases, for example, around safety, wearables to detect, you know, if an employee, a worker is entering a so-called danger zone without proper authority, without proper intimation to the respective supervisors or managers and so on. We do have other sensors and kits to monitor air quality. We have a product that could detect air quality, which can be extended to look at the quality of toxic gases in the environment, such as carbon monoxide, for example, the VOC content, asbestos, and other things. The safety is an area where we see a lot of innovation is happening, and in the environment as well. So we have partnered with a few innovative companies, including startups. To quote one example, we have a partner who has a sensorized suit which can be worn by an employee to check his postures, are they compromising the defined ergonomic considerations and so on. So we have quite a few similar accelerators put together various solution buckets that could be of use to a business environment. With this, I think my opening remark about these two offerings, I conclude here.
Manish to quickly provide a small context around the first theme of connected resource intensity for our audience.
Thank you. Connected resource intensity is one of our joint offerings. As we mentioned earlier, this is really about maximizing output while minimizing resources that you consume, whether it is energy, water, industrial gases, and so on and so forth. The Yes, thank you. The fourth industrial revolution is not just about productivity and output. The World Economic Forum in the last few years has been coming out with this global lighthouse network report, and recently in September they have articulated how Industry 4.0 is driving not just productivity improvements but sustainability improvements as well. This global lighthouse network is really a network of 54 companies globally who have deployed Industry 4.0 at scale in their respective manufacturing operations, and how these organizations have demonstrated enormous amount of gains when it comes to both productivity as well as sustainability. As you can see, it's demonstrating up to 50% gains in energy efficiency, um, and much higher when it comes to things like waste reduction as well as water consumption reduction. Energy efficiency is a key focus for us in this discussion today. Um, and equally importantly, Bosch itself, as a global player in its own manufacturing operations, has deployed this. It is one of the 54 global lighthouse network companies. And that's why we've chosen to work with Bosch, who has experience of implementing these solutions in their own operations. One last point before I invite our expert. This is a low hanging fruit for all of us because the International Energy Association, as you can see on the left of this screen, has highlighted that 60% of global emissions can be attributed to energy related emissions, of which 12% are related to industrial emissions happening in industrial operations, manufacturing operations. So we have a significant opportunity to use Industry 4.0 to drive energy efficiency and bring down carbon emissions. This partnership is going to help you not just with driving energy efficiency, which is a key sustainability agenda item, but also then translate it into carbon efficiency gains. Now I invite Amar to give us an example of this deep side solution and explain. Thank you.
Thanks, Manish. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to the audience. So let me talk about DeepSight. DeepSight is an Industry 4.0 solution aimed at enhancing sustainability measures on the usage of resources like energy, water, industrial gases, and CO2 neutrality, as Manish just mentioned. This is a cloud-based analytics suite with a full stack digitalization solution with sensing layers, IoT connectivity layers, visualization, but very importantly, the analytics or cognitive layers all in a single package. So for customers who are actually looking at accelerating the resource optimization, this offers a convenience of pre-built KPIs and resource intensive data models that cover from right from the sourcing of the resources till the utilization, entire value chain. These KPIs are in fact built along with a blend of digitized experience of our in-house experts and the state-of-art analytics techniques. So this significantly speeds up the tangible insight generation, as we also saw in the poll that was important. And this reduces the need for collecting too much of data before the data insights are generated. We'll also demonstrate this with a very important 5-step framework, and we'll actually show how the value is generated for the customer through a maturity journey. So as I mentioned about this 5-step framework, it's important because apart from having technology pieces and data pieces, it's very important to have a systematic approach on applying the 5-step framework to implement the sensors and analytics. Examples like idling energy detection and leakage detection, for example. Once we cross step 1, the wastages are tackled. Then we look at productive asset optimization energy. For example, set point optimization of compressor. Then we move on to process operational improvements in step 3, planning operations, and finally improvements in step 3, planning operations, and finally what
We'll
happens
take a clip where you have implemented this.
Sure, Manish. Style plant. In this case study, we see about denim fabric manufacturing. It is quite a widely used 5 kilowatt hours to make just 1 meter of the fabric. Here, the objective was to discover and provide measures to reduce energy and resource monthly bill. How do we reduce? Because here the bill was almost 1 million euros per month across quite a big plant. The challenge here was to work with the existing combination of limited digital data as well as manual production logs to deliver the savings to the customer. So here data feature engineering was the key to minimize dependency on new sensor requirements. And by reducing the new sensor requirements, this also increased the speed of the project because we did away with the installation phase of all. So applying the first 3 out of the 5 steps of the framework for this customer, it resulted in net savings generation of 1.2 million euros by our insights provided. And these were spread across reduction of steam consumption by 12%, energy by 3%, and we also touched productivity improvements of up to 6%. So here in this case study, the benefits are shown how it can go just beyond resource optimization as we touched operational excellence in terms of productivity improvements as well.
Great, Amar. Any example where you've scaled this out on a multi-plant context to really bring out the 5-step value?
Yeah, Manish, that's an important aspect because isolated pilots are one thing, but how do we scale up across a big enterprise? So I would like to show this in the next case study, which we did it across the Bosch plants in India. And we highlight the importance of following the framework for scalability and repeatability. So objective here of the rollout across these multiple plants of Bosch India was to really have an accelerator for energy efficiency and CO2 neutrality across 14 locations. So here 3000 plus machines were connected and an integrated view across all the Bosch India plants with multiple level benchmarking was established. Applying the framework, 3,300 megawatt hours of energy saving and 2,800 tons of equivalent CO2 footprint reduction per year is achieved. And this is quite significant, Manish.
Great. So I want to add just 1 or 2 comments to this, and you can correct me, Amar. I think you've used this platform and enabled an ISO 50001 certification across many of your plants. And that's very, very important from an ERM perspective. We bring in extensive ISO 50001 certification and auditing capabilities, and we see immense value in being able to take this to market together from an ongoing monitoring sustenance point of view. Also, I understand as part of this, you've deployed many advanced algorithms. Maybe you could give us a quick idea of what kinds of advanced predictions you've deployed in this context.
Absolutely, Manish. So we do support ISO 50001. In fact, 7 of our own Bosch plants are audited while having this solution on board.
Yes.
Talking about the analytics, we have multiple use cases which work both at production as well as the facility management level. We have built 30 plus algorithms along with domain experts on the plants. So with the help of energy predictions, set point optimizations for intensive assets like chiller, furnace, compressor, and process machines. In fact, we were one of the first teams to build energy efficiency KPIs into production planning schedules. And this was one of the first time. And we also use parameters like coefficient of performance for energy intensive assets so that we could really transform traditional time-based processes into condition-based. So the solution and the algorithms actually have been filed for a patent, and we are seeing tremendous value in our plants in using energy and the resources, not just as an expense to reduce, but also a very important operational excellence indicator.
Great. Thank you so much, Amar.
Thank you.
Let's move on to connected safety. In the interest of time, I'm going to go straight to the next slide. I think when it comes to connected safety, and most of you have shown a very high level of interest in this safety solution, so I'm going to dive straight into the case studies as soon as possible. Connected safety is really so important. It is evidenced through the National Safety Council Safety Technology 2020 initiative, of which ERM is a part, which very clearly says that safety performance in industrial context has improved over the years. Number of injuries and accidents have come down, but fatalities have not. Fatalities have probably increased over a period of time. So therefore, there is a bit of a challenge in continuing with the current ways of driving safety. And we see this consistently in our conversations with clients. We've done a big global survey on this, which says where more than 90% of our customers and survey respondents have said that they see technology as a key lever in driving safety performance, as a key lever in reducing fatalities. So, and then finally, connected worker device market, as outlined by Verdantix on the screen, demonstrates that this is going to be close to a $500 million market, just the device market. And it is highlighting some very important use cases like environmental monitoring, um, mm, vital health monitoring statistics for the workers, and so on and so forth. So let's move to the first case study, which articulates, before we go to the case study, let me explain what we mean by connected safety. Connected safety is a human centered, digitally enabled approach to improve safety performance. Aligned with the well known hierarchy of controls in the safety world, where we go from elimination all the way down to PPE to, to try and drive safety performance, we have defined three key principles uh, for connected safety. Start with eliminating the need to send the person in the first place to a high risk situation by identifying digital substitutes. Look at very clearly how you can use things like drones, robots, and other sensors to eliminate the need to send the person in a high risk context in the first place. We are witnessing this in case of power line transmission inspection, even in case of industrial context, where you're sending a person maybe in a confined space with gaseous with a lot of high risk gases, and can you send a drone beforehand to get some information? Can you send a drone or any kind of robotic device or a sensor to avoid sending the person in the first place? So that's digital substitutes as a means of eliminating the need to send somebody. Then we look at empowering the frontline worker with advanced real-time intelligence and automated interventions. This is a digital safeguard. How can you put in controls in the form of digital safeguards so that automated interventions happen in real time? For example, advanced warning of toxic gas levels inside a production facility, or empower the frontline worker with AR, VR based digital safety immersive training. Through this partnership, we are able to bring that kind of content to you, where we are building extensive amount of AR, VR content from a digital safety perspective. Finally, how do we support the frontline worker in a hazardous situation with smart PPE and remote monitoring? We bring access to good amount of smart PPE kit through this partnership, as well as through our extended niche partner network. A lot of uh, remote monitoring, smart devices to guide the frontline worker in hazardous situations. One important example where we are working on is in the context of road safety, where we are able to generate seat vibrations to a truck driver based on his driving behavior from telemetry and in-cab camera data. So that takes us to the next slide, which is this case study on connected road safety. This is a very specific solution we have built over the last 2 years. It is about, again, a human-centered, digitally enabled solution to predict road safety risks, specifically driver fatigue, and prevent serious injuries and fatalities. By analyzing on-board vehicle telematics and in-cab camera and external weather data, we have developed a dynamic hazard detection model which can identify conditions leading to driver fatigue. Driver risk index is a very important dimension of this solution. Increasingly understanding the driver dynamics, how he behaves, how to help him, how to send him advanced intimations and warnings, how to equip him with all kinds of automated interventions is very, very important. And we've deployed some extensive amount of machine learning models to be able to correlate different internal and external data sets to build a driver risk index. So you can then understand which driver is more risky, less risky, whom can you help more, whom can you help less. We're doing this for a leading global oil and gas player in APAC. And as part of this, we are seeing lots of benefits for our customers. Our customers are looking at negotiating vehicle insurance premiums based on this solution, and they're also witnessing, of course, improved driving performance, operational performance, and driver productivity. I'd now like to take you to another last quick case study called Connected Safety Intelligence. Safety, as we all know, as many of us know in the safety and sustainability world, is really about human behavior, human culture, the mindset, and so on and so forth. And a lot of this culture and mindset is actually residing in a lot of data that we capture, what we call as unsafety data. This data is captured very effectively in our incident management systems, in our safety observation systems, inspection reports, and any kind of investigation reports. All of these reports, all of these documents are quite meticulously captured by many of our leading customers. But the challenge they have is to analyze this. A lot of it is text based data. And how can we use advanced analytics and machine learning to analyze this reams and reams of text based data? For one of our large mining customers, they have 5 years worth of data in this context. They got a few million records. And it's a gold mine of information to really understand how we can do better with this data. We are working with such customers to use advanced analytics and text analytics to do event classification engine. How can we reduce cost of EHS operations by automating event classification? The same event in organizations is classified as sometimes a near miss as well as a high potential incident. This causes a problem when it comes to analysis and takes lots of time and does not lead to a more accurate and more meaningful analysis and next steps. ERM safety engine is able to help you do an automated event classification for you and thereby reduce cost of operations. Another algorithm as part of our safety stack is a set of algorithms to drive risk hotspots and identify more important themes. As you can see, for a given client, we've done this and it shows material loading and unloading as a key risk item. It is also showing vehicle and parking as another key risk item. On further analysis with this customer and correlating this particular theme with other operational and logistics data, we've been able to establish why vehicle and parking is an issue, what actually is happening when it comes to vehicles and parkings. This is for a telecom operator where we are seeing very clearly that when it comes to injuries and accidents, most of them happen in and around the parking time. And on further analysis, we are seeing it's happening when the technician is moving from the current appointment to the next appointment. And he's either parking in the wrong way, or when coming out of the parking lot, he's causing a small accident or sometimes a serious one. This has got to do with the way they're scheduling appointments and the rush to move to the next appointment and complete your actions. So that kind of preventive safety analytics is happening based on these kinds of safety intelligence solutions. So that's a quick overview of how IoT and 4.0 as well as advanced analytics are helping our clients, one for the road safety context and second is the safety intelligence. Over to you, Rati.
Thank you so much, Manish. Thank you, Venu, and thank you, Amar. Let's summarize. I mean, we heard a lot of information in a relatively small time. So what does this mean? What are some best practices that we are recommending you to take forward for your digital journey? First, connected solutions is all about the data, the insights, and the decisions, and not necessarily about the technology. This means that while you might be able to still work with, not so good technology or not so complete in features kind of technology, but a gap in data would lead you to not only have resource issues, but also cost and time issues. However, that being said, a digital transformation roadmap, which we kind of emphasize throughout our presentation, does help you identify the right data, define the right KPIs, and begin with that journey to get the right data for connected solutions. Second, focus on the frontline worker, the plant manager, and the executive pain points. We have seen many of our clients who kind of are misled by, the technology market. Never define the solution around the technology. Define the solutions around the challenges and the user and the worker pain point. Third, scaling out Industry 4.0 pilots definitely require an agile and iterative approach. In all our success stories and maybe a few learnings, we have seen that Industry 4.0 experiments or pilots are always successful when they are taken in agile, iterative, small steps. Fourth, integrate sustainability and safety as a part of your enterprise landscape. We have enough examples to show that sustainability and safety, or the digital components of these two solutions, need not sit separately. They should be integrated. They should have synergies with your enterprise landscape and architecture. And last, but the most important, make data an asset and not a liability. In this given world, defining the ownership of data, defining the governance around the same, the privacy and the security requirements as you embark on a digital journey is going to be extremely important. And to summarize, ERM in Bosch can help you kick off this journey and accelerate the same with a workshop that can help you revisit some of your priorities and help you define a roadmap.